Hello, welcome back. So today we are going to be jumping straight into it simply because the video kind of jumps straight into it today. So welcome. So the first day of this room transformation that we are doing today was not on call on camera. I don't have any footage of the first day, unfortunately, and that is simply because on the first day of work, Neve was in the room helping me, and she specifically requested that I didn't film because I think she wanted it to be more of a mummy-daughter moment. So I respected her wishes and I did not film that. So sorry guys, I don't have any footage of that, but I'll give you a quick rundown of the first day's activities. Where we dismantled the bookshelf that was in there because it's getting moved out. We started modding her 2 chests of drawers here, which you can see in this little image showing you what they looked like before. So we've raised them up with them on feet, screwed them together. We do need to add some silicone down the gap in between them to make it feel more like more of a seamless finish. Started the wall repairs from the furniture anchors, replaced the ceiling light with this one that Neve chose that she really loved, and emptied out the drawers on the trundle bed that is underneath her bed, ready for that to be listed on Facebook Marketplace. And then moving into the spare room where we've got everything stored. Neve helped me go through all of her toys and her shoes and her books and her games, etc. And we've moved those into these IKEA scub boxes for storage. And then in the brown box here, we've got a new smaller bookcase for her room, which I still need to build. And we also transferred some stuff into her bedside table drawers and took down her pegboard to be moved. So I'll be moving that over in the room as well. Alright, so next day, and this day we get to actually do some filming because the little one is not around to help. So we are starting off with sanding off the wall patching that we did the day before. But then I quickly remembered why I placed the furniture where I did when we first did the room. And that's because there's some really tough epoxy filler that's been used to fill in some holes and then just painted over, like sort of semi-sanded and then painted over, being left like really raised lumps on the wall, and which I'm guessing is from the previous owner. I personally do not recall doing it. So I needed to grab the electric hand sander to get it flat. And then of course got to clean up all the dust before applying the first touch-up coat. I think I ended up applying about 3 or 4 coats to these repair sections to make them blend in with the wall. A little tip or trick for you is to always just keep, because they don't take up much space, but one of the little sample pots of paint colour on hand for any touch-up spots around the house. So I have little sample pots kept with each room that the paint applies to written on them, just for any touch-ups around the house, which makes it so much easier. Right, so next up we are going to dismantle the trundle bed. So when we originally purchased it, I thought it was a great concept to have a trundle with built-in storage underneath. So it's got 2 drawers and then the actual trundle slat bed underneath for sleepovers and all of those good things, and extra storage for shoes and things like that. And in theory, it's a great idea. In reality, in this particular room, the room is just too small for it to actually be practical. So since we've had it, I think it's been used only for games when the girls are, like when Eve has friends over or cousins over and they pull it out for their games. And that's only been maybe 3 or 4 times since we've purchased it. So I think, because realistically when she has sleepovers, they all sleep downstairs on a blow up or on her mattresses that we pull down. So yeah, this room is just too small. It's like 2 and a bit by 3 and a bit meters, which is also the reason for some of the really dodgy, tight camera angles in today's video. So I apologize for any funny angles. It's just such a small space to kind of get that to work. But anyway, so I digress. So the trundle wasn't really working the way I really wanted it to, or I had envisaged it to be able to, and it actually, realistically, the space under the bed is better used as additional storage for toys and shoes and games and all of that. So that's why we've got those scub boxes that we have pulled everything into, so they can be stored in under the bed instead of that trundle bed. So we are taking that trundle bed out to be able to use that storage space and take full advantage of it. And by moving all those items out of the other storage areas and under the bed, is going to make the bedroom feel so much more spacious. So before starting this whole bedroom makeover, I knew one of the things that we really needed to do just to make it feel a little bit more put together was to adjust the drawers that she has. So she has those 2 drawers that were from IKEA. They are very short, they sit flat on the ground, 2 separate drawer sets with these like big plastic coloured handles on them, just all white, very stock standard, push them out of the factory really fast kind of feel. Really great drawers, but just not the most aesthetically pleasing. So one of the things I knew I wanted to be able to do was to kind of modify them to look a little bit more custom. So before starting the project, I took Neve with me to the warehouse so she could choose for herself the ceiling light cover, which we got and installed. We got the furniture feet. She chose these really cute little fat round timber ones, which I think are so cute because I love raw timber that you just polish up with clear to bring out the grain, but they're still really round and short and fat and very sort of child-like, so they still suit the fact it's a child's room. And then she chose some drawer pulls, which we'll be showing later, and she chose this timber panetless timber to go on the top to make it look like one piece rather than 2 pieces stuck together. I am just sealing it and letting it dry until I need it later. So continuing the painting theme, I'm painting some of the trim in crisp white. It may seem odd that I'm only painting half the room, and you see in the footage that I am only painting half the room's trim. That is actually because when she decided that she wanted her room to have pink on some of the walls, not all of them, I did start painting and I ran out of the enamel paint because I'd been doing so many other areas as well at the time, so I only managed to do half the room. So the other half never got finished. I ran out of steam, and when everything started happening with the room and her wanting to move things around and me hating it and going, you know what, we're going to actually end up probably redoing this room anyway, I figured I might as well just hold off until we were redoing the room to be able to finish off the trim. So we're finishing off the trim today. Now that the timber panel top is dry, I gave it a very light sand to make it super smooth. And now I've brought it upstairs to actually attach to the drawer tops. But first of all, we've got to do a dry fit to make sure it is all sitting up correctly and do a silly dance when I find out that it is fitting perfectly. Yay! And I'm also checking my screw lengths to make sure they don't go through the top. And then here I'm siliconing between the two drawers to make it look much more seamless and more like a single piece rather than two pieces bolted together. But I accidentally used an absolutely terrible angle, so you can only really see the very base bit where I've done, but that's what I'm doing now. But now that that silicone has been done, the last thing that needs to be finished on it is changing out the drawer handles. So the drawers came with these big round plastic circles with coloured stickers that you could stick on that Neve decided to put on, but we decided to change them out just to make it feel a little bit more custom. So when we were at the warehouse, Neve chose these drawer pulls, which are these really cute little owls, but they came in a copper and pewter colour combination, which apparently doesn't work in her scheme for her room. And she wanted sky blue and pale pink, so we spray painted them a couple weeks ago, and then attached those using some breakaway cabinetry screws or bolts, which are, I did not know they existed. I do now. I love them. They're amazing. So I did not know that was a thing, so learn something new every day. So just to refresh your memories on what we were dealing with before and how cramped the room was, here is a before shot, and then here is the after shots. I cannot tell you how much it means to me to have you here with me again today. I hope you've enjoyed the video and the transformation. You've gotten some good ideas and motivation out of it, and I'll see you next week for the next video. Bye guys.